Hello, I'm Mary Lowman, and this is Mondays with Mary. So my question for you today is your faith childlike or childish? Jesus called a little child to him one day and said to his disciples, I tell you the truth, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. But then the Apostle Paul wrote, when I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put childish ways behind me. Philip Yancey writes, somehow we must learn to distinguish between appropriate childlike behavior, a prerequisite for the kingdom of heaven, and inappropriate childish behavior, a mark of stunted growth. So, is your faith childlike or childish? Think of some common childlike attributes. Children are naturally trusting. They believe you when you make a promise to them. They have no difficulty believing in miracles. They have not become cynical or double-minded, but in their innocence, they believe fully and without hesitation. You won't find many children worrying about the future. For the most part, they live in the moment and enjoy it to the fullest. They don't borrow trouble from tomorrow. So you can see why Jesus said we need to become like a little child. That childlike trust, that trust in the Lord no matter what, even when you can't totally understand. A childlike faith takes Jesus at his word. And that childlike faith is so grateful for the good gifts God gives us every day, the little things and the big ones. Can you, in childlike faith, go and let go of your worries about tomorrow and cast all your care upon the Lord? Or do you carry that heavy burden around with you all the time? Now, childish faith, on the other hand, is not so attractive. You know, children typically want everything their way. They are born selfish and self-centered. Childish faith believes that God exists to fix everything in the life of a believer. Childish faith expects God to make the rough places smooth all the time and take adversity out of life. Childish faith doesn't want to hear about maturity and growing pains and learning lessons. Rather, it expects God to act on their behalf according to their plan and their timetable. When we are children, we need lots of rules to protect us, like don't play in the street, don't play with matches, stay with me, don't wander away. These are typical legal requirements that we place on children in order to keep them safe and protect them from their own inability to yet make wise decisions. But as we grow, we jog in the streets and use matches to start fires and go where we please, enjoying freedom because we have the maturity to use our freedom wisely. If your faith is simply a formula that keeps you a slave to rules and regulations, your faith is childish. Another trait of childish faith is that it is often rooted in emotionalism instead of being rooted in truth. Emotions are fine. They are God-given gifts that we need. But if your faith is based on your feelings, it's a childish faith. It runs hot and cold just like your feelings do. Childish faith is often a roller coaster ride, up one day, down the next. The Apostle Paul said that when he became a man, he put away childish things. So for our good and for God's glory, we need to dedicate ourselves to put away the childish things and instead to grow up in Christ to full maturity and have a faith that has wonderful childlike qualities, but never childish. Have a wonderful childlike day.